The lungs, part 2. Question number 1. Milk is beneficial for the lung under which specific deficiency?
Stream lung yin shu.
The intrinsic dynamic of the spicy flavor is described as
Centrifugal movement upwards and outward.
excessive consumption of spicy flavor can damage which aspect of
Langye.
the lung? Lung yi.
Lung yin.
The rotten odor associated with lung imbalance is comparable to the smell of
Old rubbish bins
Rubbish.
or garbage truck.
which professional group is most likely to develop lung qi deficiency due to constant vocal use?
Teachers,
Teachers,
singers, and actors.
Which emotion is identified as a primary manifestation of the metal phase, and how does it affect lung qi?
Grief, it depletes lung qi and not qi in the upper jaw.
How does the lung assist the large intestine?
By
By
expelling
expelling
stones.
fluid.
What is the primary difference between individuals with lung qi deficiency and those with heart imbalances regarding communication?
Lung
Lung
qi,
qi to people appear
bitter but are not uncommunicative, whereas heart imbalance people are swollen or shy.
Sullen or shy. In TCM, what does song qi specifically refer to in the context of vocal expression?
Central qi that gives the voice strength.
Okay, song qi, strong. Okay. Which negative emotion translated by Father Lar and Elizabeth Rochade de la Vallée is primarily described as oppression, grief, restraint, and anguish?
you.
Yo. Which organ's virtue is described as reverence and awe, linking it to the ability to experience each moment uniquely?
Love.
Lung.
What is the relationship between Po and Hun?
Po is always material aspect that anchors the young eternal on.
Which acupuncture point is identified as the exit for Hun when a person dies?
Dutundi.
Through which bodily passage does Po leave the body after death?
The rectum.
Rectum.
Dinaday mo gawas, no? Okay. Okay. How many po?
Nakanjig.
How many po are traditionally recognized, and what is their principal responsibility?
7 po, managing dynamic, rhythmic, and unconscious function.
What is the distinction between pain and suffering in relation to po?
Po experience
Po
pain but not suffering.
But not suffering.
Yeah. Which emotion is described as worry or speculation that not lung qi, causing stagnation in the upper jiao?
Worries, population, she.
What is the primary reason given for the lung's resonance with grief according to the concept of po?
Po ends with the physical body at death, linking lung to loss.
Which practice is cited as a way to strengthen po and help keep Hun in check?
Meditation focusing on breath.
Why is it considered important in Chinese tradition to die near one's place of birth?
So po
So
can return
po
to
can
ground
return.
it originated.
Which emotion described as yo is said to be more powerful than normal grief and can affect the free movement of yang in the lung, spleen, and liver?
Oppression,
grief,
anguish.
restraint, and anguish.
In the context of the lungs function, what does the phrase draws things in and lets things go refer to?
Inhaling fresh air and exhaling spent air, as well as assisting in elimination of stools and emotional attachment.
Which organ's qi is considered the driving force behind channel qi alongside lung qi?
Zong qi.
Zong qi. In the relationship between the lung and the liver, why does liver qi stagnation interfere with lung qi?
Because
liver qi directly blocks the descending lung qi.
Which of the following best describes the functional consequence when the liver fires up and invades the lung?
Pathological heat affecting the lung.
The heart uses lung qi and zong qi for what specific purpose?
To move shout
through
through the channel and vessels.
How does the lung contribute to the kidney's function in fluid physiology?
by sending impure fluids from the upper jaw to the urinary bladder for transformation.
When the lung qi is blocked by exogenous qi, phlegm or other forms of stagnation, what clinical manifestation is most likely?
Breathing
Breathing
difficulties.
difficulties.
What is the result of spleen qi deficiency on the lung's production of zong qi?
It reduces
It reduces
production
the
of
production of Go Chi by lowering
lowering
Song
lung
Chi.
Which statement best captures interdependence of lung and spleen in the creation of post-heaven qi?
The spleen creates Go
Spleen
Chi.
creates Go.
Blood combines with the Da Chi to form Zong Chi.
Why is the large intestine considered the yin-yang partner of the lung?
Because the lung descendant Chi
Chi
is necessary for total explosion.
Expulsion.
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 Expulsion, sorry.
Constipation.
Expulsion.
Constipation in elderly patients can stem from lung qi deficiency. Which of the following symptom clusters aligns with this diagnosis?
Shortness of
Shortness
breath,
of breath.
spontaneous sweating after stool passage, exhaustion.
Mo di ana no magsingot ng uban.
Mm.
What explains the effect of severe constipation on lung qi?
It
It
blocks
blocks
the descent
the
of lung Chi, leading to breathlessness.
Which organ is said to store phlegm that originates in the spleen?
lung
Lung.
In lung kidney fluid exchange, what is the role of kidney yang?
to
Transfer.
transform genie to send it upward to the lung.
Which of the following best characterizes impact of liver fire on the lung in pathological conditions?
It invades the lung,
causing
causing heat-related disorders.
Why is the heart referred to as the emperor while the lung is the prime minister?
because the heart
Because the heart is circulates you and the lung controls the hundreds vessels
supporting heart function.
supporting the heart's function.
What is the primary reason that lung po can calm the shen when it is unsettled?
By
By
regulating
breathing that influence mental consciousness.
In TCM, which organ is described as the prime minister with responsibility for regulation and directly contacts the exterior?
the
Lung,
lung.
Which pair of chi corresponds respectively to heavenly chi and earth chi in the formation of zong chi?
Tian Chi,
Yan Chi and Dei Chi.
Yeah, that's ta chi. The lung's relationship with which organ is most directly involved in the excretion of dross after qi and xinye production?
Large intestine.
Which type of qi can be used by the body without further transformation as created by the combination of ta qi and ku qi?
Zong Chi,
Song
In the
Chi.
hierarchy of internal organs, which organ governs blood while the lung governs qi?
Heart.
Which of the following is not a manifestation or influence on the lung?
Sweet liver.
The lung's regulation of water passages involves which of the following functions?
Dredging, moving, and adjusting water channels.
Which organ is described as the only zang organ that is in direct contact with the exterior?
Lung.
The transformation of yan qi to zong qi and subsequently to zhen qi illustrates the lung's role in what broader TCM concept?
The meeting of heaven and earth in man.
Which symptom is directly associated with lung heat?
Yellow and thick mucus.
Take mucus.
The lung shen aspect is identified as which of the following?
O.
Which organ provides the pure fluids that the lung further transforms into a fine mist?
Spleen.
The lung's influence on the voice is primarily mediated to which type of qi?
Zong Chi,
Which external pathological factor is capable of disrupting the lung and leading to weak respiration?
Chi.
The lung's regulation of the exterior is expressed through control of which two structures?
skin and hair.
Skin and hair.
The lung's vulnerability to dryness and aversion to cold illustrates its relationship to
6 evils.
Six evil when cold, heat, dryness, dampness, fire.
the functional description of the lung includes a role in the movement of downwards and movement of qi downwards and throughout the body. This downward movement is primarily linked to which of the following?
Descending lung qi,
The lung is considered the upper source of qi because it receives pure fluid transported by which organ in the middle jiao?
spleen,
Spleen.
The adage qi is the commander of blood, blood is the mother of qi, reflects the relationship between which two physiological processes?
lung
Lung,
qi, and
heart,
heart cell circulation.
In the context of fluid psychology, physiology, which term describes the yin yang aspect of body fluids that the lung spreads together with weight qi?
Jin.
The space term Koli is primarily involved in the circulation of which two qi types?
Jin and Wei Qi.
Which symptom is not a direct result of Wei Qi blockage by exogenous Xie Qi?
Fever. Fever.
Yeah, the lung descends qi to which anatomical region where it is subsequently grasped by another organ?
Lower jaw, gasped with the kidney.
Which point is identified as the hui, gathering point for the blood vessels, that also serves as the yan source point of the lung?
Lung
Lung
9,
9.
Deficiency in lung qi leads to what change in wei qi?
Wei
Wei
qi
Qi
becomes
becomes
deficient su,
The movement of ye is flowing together with which two components in the channels?
yang qi, and shu,
Shui.
Wei.
In
and
cases
shui.
of acute cardiac problems or asthma, difficulty speaking is attributed to blockage of which specific qi?
Zong Qi.
Qi,
Which organ's descent of qi is essential for the large intestine to drive stools downward?
the lung,
Lung.
Lungs' inability to spread qi can result in edema, primarily affecting which part of the body?
Upper
upper part of the
body.
body, especially the face.
Which process is described as the lung sending impure fluids down to the urinary bladder for further transformation?
Regulation of the
Power.
water passage.
When the lung can no longer spread qi, what type of pathological phlegm accumulates in the lung and respiratory passages?
Thin and
Then watery phlegm.
Which organ pair together forms the post-heavenly root of jiang qi that gives rise to wei qi?
Lung and
spleen.
Unsa? Lung and spleen?
Yes, lung and spleen.
Which
Lung and spleen.
acupuncture point is not being used to activate and spread wei qi for expelling xie qi through the skin?
Stomach 36.
Qin is the light yang aspect of body fluids. Which organ is said to moisten the skin by this qin?
The
Lung.
lung,
In the scenario where exogenous cold, Sihon, blocks Wei Qi, which of the following physiological responses is most likely?
inability to breathe.
Which of the following best characterizes the relationship between the lungs descending qi and the kidneys grasping function?
The lung
The lung
qi
qi descends to the lower jaw where the kidneys grasp it.
Which organ's qi primarily controls the opening and closing of skin pores?
Lung qi.
In the context of hair distribution, which organ influences body hair, and what implication does this have for the lungs' relationship to the skin?
Lung impatience body hair, reinforcing the skin aspect of lung.
How does phlegm dampness specifically affect the sense of taste?
It obstructs the
It
nose,
obstructs the nose.
diminishing perception of aromatic flavors.
Which of the following best describes the ye of the lung?
The
The
mucus
mucus form
in
in the nasal membrane and lining.
So mauna ni atong kuot. Di ba mauna na siya? Tinatanggal nimo. What pathological change occurs to the nasal mucus when excess heat congeals the lungs here?
Doors thick, sticky, and yellowish.
Which external climatic factor is identified as the most detrimental to Wei Qi, thereby hating the lung?
Cold.
Why does lying down exacerbate lung imbalance?
Damp
Lung
phlegm
phlegm can collect in the lung in the recumbent position.
The white collar resonance with the metal face is exemplified by which of the following foods affecting the lung?
Milk.
When is milk considered beneficial for the lung?
When the
When
lung
the lung is extremely in deficiency in Si.
Okay. So mauday na no. Muhatag lang kag milk kung naa kay lung yin deficiency. Okay.
Mm.
How does the spicy flavor's intrinsic dynamic affect an invasion of qi?
It expels qi upward and outward, opening port.
So upward out. Excessive consumption of spicy flavor can damage which specific aspect of the lung?
Lung yin.
Again,
Lung is uniquely vulnerable because it is the only lung organ that
directly contact to the exterior to skin and upper always.
which
Airways day.
airways. Which symptom is specifically linked to the lung's inability to sink and spread qi during a cold invasion?
Puppy face and watery exudation from nose and eyes.
In a dry indoor climate, the lung scene is damaged similarly to invasion by which external factor?
Exogenous qi.
Qi dryness.
Which of the following statements best integrates the relationship between the lung wei qi and the body's response to external cold?
Cold blocks with qi. Circulation closing pores and preventing explosion of cold.
Expulsion of cold. The rotten odor associated with lung imbalance is comparable to which of the following everyday smells?
Old rubbish
Or
bins.
garbage bins or garbage trucks.
Ay, mao din ang amoy, no? Okay.
Maulang sa.
Ayan, nakaamoy na po ni Ana. Kuan, ng smoker. Which organ? Murag basura. Okay. Which organ shares the responsibility of the throat? And what clinical implication does this have for diagnosing lung versus stomach imbalances?
The stomach
Throat problems can reflect either lung or stomach imbalance.
Which element would most likely counteract the lung's vulnerability to dryness?
The water.
Which Chinese character described as more powerful than normal grief and linked to oppression is difficult to translate into English?
You.
Yo. Which organ's virtue is described as reverence and awe?
Lung.
How many po are said to exist in the body?
7.
Through which acupuncture point does Hun ascend at death?
Do. 20.
Through which anatomical location does po exit the body? I did not.
Rectum.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Which organ is most frequently associated with the emotion worry in traditional Chinese medicine?
Lead.
Which phase's emotion is called pei in Chinese, encompassing sorrow and melancholy?
Metal
face.
What is the described relationship between Po and Hun?
Po ang correspond, providing your yin balance.
Ano din? Which organ assists the large intestine in expelling stools?
Lung.
Why does the lung resonate with sorrow?
Due to its association with Po and Shen aspect linked to mortality.
Which practice is mentioned as strengthening Po and keeping Hun in check?
Meditation techniques focusing on breath.
What is the Chinese term for the emotion translated variously as oppression, grief, restraint, and anguish?
Yo.
Oh. In historical terminology, what was the rectum referred to as relating to Po? Oh my God.
Ogit.
Which emotion is said to knot lung qi, causing stagnation in the upper jiao?
Worry.
Which organ's voice manifestation is described as a crying or weeping voice?
Lung.
The lung's function includes exchanging which types of air?
Inhaling fresh air and inhaling spent air.
Exhaling spent air.
Exhaling.
Which philosophical concept suggests a person should die near their place of birth because of Po's return to the ground?
Traditional Chinese philosophy.
According to traditional belief, what condition can cause a Po to become a Kui?
Dying a violent death far from home.
In the lung-liver relationship, which organ is primarily responsible for controlling descent of qi?
Lung.
What is the function of zong qi in relation to channel qi?
It drives channel qi, preventing stagnation.
How does the anatomical positioning of the liver relative to the lung affect qi flow when liver qi stagnates?
It blocks the lungs descending qi directly.
Energetically, why is the harmonic movement of qi described as up and down between the lung and liver?
Lung
Lung
qi
qi.
descends while liver qi ascends, creating balance.
Which pathological condition describes liver fire invading the lung?
Liver fire flaring up and entering the lung.
In the lung-heart relationship, what is the primary role of lung qi and zong qi concerning blood?
They
They
move
move through
through
the channels
channels
and
and
vessels.
Within the metaphorical hierarchy of organs, which organ is likened to the prime minister and what is its main duty?
Lung
lung
regulation of the 100 B cells.
How does lung po differ from heart shan in terms of consciousness?
lung po controls somatic functions without conscious thought. Heart shen is mental consciousness.
Which of the following can block lung qi during its collaboration with the kidneys in respiration?
Exogenous
Exogenous qi
phlegm or others.
or other stagnation.
In fluid physiology, how does kidney yang assist the lung after impure fluids are sent down to the urinary bladder?
Kidney yang transforms the pure kidney and sends it back up of the moisten the lung.
Which clinical manifestation is most directly linked to lung qi imbalance, causing edema?
Accumulation of fluid in the body or the edema.
What is the relationship between zong qi and yan qi?
Yuan qi ascends to transform zong qi into zen qi.
Mhm.
Zong qi descends into nourish yuan qi and assist the kidney.
Okay. They help each other, the I know, if you notice. Mutual. Okay. How do the lung and spleen together generate post-heaven qi?
Spleen
transforms
transforms
to go qi, which ascends and combines with that qi from the air in the lung to create zong qi.
Why is the statement phlegm is created in the spleen but is stored in the lung clinically significant?
Treating
Treating
lung requires
disorder.
addressing spleen dysfunction that generates phlegm.
In what way does the lung support the spleen's partner organ, the stomach?
By sending descending qi, the lung creates space for the stomach's upward qi movement through the intestine.
What is the nature of the channel relationship between the spleen and the lung?
Both are aspects of the Tianyin channel.
How does the large intestine depend on lung qi for bowel movement?
Lung
Lung
qi
qi tends to
press
pull stool out of the body.
What symptom complex may arise when severe constipation blocks the descent of lung qi?
shortness
Shortness
of
of
breath
breath.
and difficulty breathing deeply.
Which therapeutic approach is suggested to calm an unsettled shen?
Guiding the patients to breathe deeply into the lower abdomen.
Wow, thank you so much and congratulations, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.